Members at Capita TVL have overwhelmingly endorsed a new pay resolution. Almost 88% of workers voted in favour of the new deal, following intense and difficult negotiations between the company and the union. The CWU is also optimistic that compulsory redundancies can be avoided in Bristol and Glasgow, following the announcement that the company plans to lay off staff at both of the sites. The union will also be embarking on a major recruitment drive at the Darwin site over the coming months. We spoke with CWU Assistant Secretary Andy Fury to find out more.
We've been in intense negotiations with Capita for all of this year. Primarily this has been to resolve the issue of the closure of the contact centre and movement of work from Bristol to Darwin in Lancashire and offshore into Mumbai. The reality is we were losing tens of jobs, but thankfully we've ensured that nobody's being made compulsory redundant, and the only people that are leaving are those that are leaving with redundancy terms, voluntary redundancy terms. So therefore we've protected employment. As part of these negotiations, we've also resolved the pay dispute from last year. We had 4 days of strike action last year, the back end of last year. That dispute came to a halt once the closure plans were announced, following the re-awarding by the BBC of the contract. The contract meant that the BBC was going to be paying £220 million less to Capita over 8 years. So as a result, Capita decided to make headcount reductions, job losses and save money. That was a bigger priority for us early in the new year than the pay dispute. But what we've been able to do is be able to find a resolution to the pay as a consequence of dealing with the job losses and the people moving on redundancy and protecting those people that wish to remain in employment. On the pay itself, we managed to get an extra £100 one-off payment that's being made at the end of this month, end of June salaries, and there's going to be a further £50 consolidated into basic pay at the end of September, and any new pay deal will be built upon that. So we think overall this is good news. We've protected employment, we've resolved the pay dispute, and going forward this should help us recruit new members into the union. The positive news is that despite us having an industrial action dispute last year, the relationships have improved no end with Capita, and to that important position, we've agreed with them that our recognition agreement will be extended for the 8 years that the new contract's been awarded from. So from the 1st of July this year, the BBC have awarded Capita the contract for 8 years, and during that 8 years our recognition agreement will apply throughout that time, and that gives the union bargaining rights for all members, whether they're TUPE'd or whether they're Capita contracts. So that's a very, very big positive move. We've also decided, following our annual conference, to embark upon an intense recruitment campaign in Darwin. Darwin's going to receive something like an extra 180 jobs with the movement of the call handling work from Bristol. Our membership levels in Darwin were not particularly good in the first place, so we've got a lot of work, hard work to do to improve that situation. But we're optimistic that the resolution to the pay dispute will give us a bit of a springboard and a launching pad for recruitment. The early indications are that of new employees, we met with something like 30 new employees 10 days ago, and over 20 of them have already joined. So we're optimistic there's green shoots there, and we think that we can build upon that. So all our energies and efforts going forward are going to be to increase our membership levels in Darwin, and that's an absolute must for us.